YouTube people, another wild week in the collectibles space as we have leaked Fanatics documents, breakers crying about not being able to fill spots, Comc shipping slowdowns, PSA payment slowdowns. Oh, and by the way, the Super Bowl is this upcoming weekend, and it's Royal Rumble Day. Well, it is on Saturday. I'm recording this right before the Royal Rumble starts, cranking this out so I could go relax and watch that this afternoon/evening. Let's just go ahead and dive in. I don't have a lot of individual things pulled up, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Just touching on it, I posted the video Saturday afternoon. I actually am recording this pretty quickly after recording that video, so I don't have a lot to add here other than to reference the video and the article by Sports Card Radio, where we had leaked internal documents from Fanatics/Tops, allegedly, with a whole bunch of information on individual partners and spends and kind of what Fanatics thinks about them. All sorts of crazy nonsense in here. I'll reference back to the full video. It was 15-20 minutes long, and then to the article itself if you want to dig into this. I just wanted to flag it. Judging by the early views, you have probably already seen it because that video seems to be very, very popular. One that Dan the Card Man covered yesterday, and this has also been shared all over social the last 24 hours or so, was so for those that aren't aware, a new product came out this week, Topps Midnight Basketball. People tried to buy it. You didn't really have a shot. It is a single pack product, 3 autos per box, very expensive. I think it's like $1,000 to $1,300 a box. Some of the autographs are on cards, some are sticker, which is wild. And Pac-Man, notable YouTube star, huge following, was trying to sell break spots on his Whatnot stream, and it's just funny. I'm gonna play. It's 2 to 3 minutes long, but I want to play it in its entirety so you all can see it and hear it and watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But I want to preface it by, he posted a video opening a half a case. 4 boxes, I think it was, which is a half a case of this product. And you can check out the full video on his channel. But here's the very end. And by the way, he got smoked on these boxes. I mean, destroyed. They were terrible. All 4 of them. So this is his little ending take on the product. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to go straight into the clips from the Whatnot stream.
Yeah, scale 1 to 10. I'm thinking too much risk. I'm going to give this one, and design is top notch, so I always factor everything in. I'm going to give this one probably a 4.25 out of 10. So a little below average just because of that price. Maybe 3 years from now, this stuff costs, I don't know, few to several hundred per box. Hopefully less, but if I had to guess, that's a little more reasonable. At 1,000 is tough. Not gonna lie, it's very, very, very tough. So, beautiful cards though. Design is literally the.
All right, so beautiful cards. The design's great. $1,000 a box is tough. I think he said 4.5 out of 10. Big risk. Okay, now let's flip over and listen to him selling this product on his Whatnot stream.
Yeah, because I know a lot of guys. Today's a weekday. It's not a weekend. I want to fill this quick, or else we're in jeopardy here. So you guys got to make me some offers here. We got to make some movement here, and hopefully in the next hour. It's 11 p.m. We've now spent 2 hours not filling the break. It's kind of crazy. No offers from anybody is nuts. We've gotten like a total of 5 offers in 2 hours. It's simple. I pin it down below, and your payment source you added to Whatnot will automatically get charged once you swipe in if you win. I was half off Harper. It's not hard to do well at 5K in 10 cases. Think about how much you pay for the Spurs.
7 SSPs, RPAs.
Yep, him and Flag have 7.
On-card autos, right?
Yep. The only one-on-one RPA that we know exists, like we have a picture of, is the one that Topps provided of Dylan Harper's one-on-one. It will not go cheaper, and I can't honor this later necessarily. Roof, I can give you one of those players. Yep, Harper flies out of here too, because there's not a lot of players. Someone should definitely take this.
Yeah, let us know, Wolverine.
Wow, I'm very surprised no one took free money. Want me to run them? Yeah, this is insane for Curry. The fact that no one took this means that we have no buyers in the room because that's literally theft.
Let's focus
Guys,
on the break. Focus on the break. We're having too many sidebars on the price of the boxes,
We're talking
arguing
about
with
random
each other. It's like
very irrelevant conversations. We got to fill this break. It's 11:40. We sold no players in 40 minutes. Offering on players. We have sold nothing in the past hour, and all we're talking about is this random stuff. So we got to lock in. Until the break is filled, we just sit here. We gotta make some progress here. There's almost some of these spots are almost no risk spots if you realize it. The only thing we're possibly uncertain about is how much do the cars go for. Well, you don't have to say that. You do not need to say that. No one in the chat needs to comment, I'm broke. It's completely irrelevant. It does not help the break. You do not need to say that.
the chat up. You're not really helping anything.
It's not. No one's laughing. It's not funny. Like, I'm sorry. Obviously, it's hard to hear that, but it does not help our goal here. Everyone always says, "Well, I'm broke." I'm like, okay, that's not great. It's just everyone just thinks it's annoying. No one laughs. Like, and at the prices here, you're gonna crush. And the prices are ridiculously good. Some of these spots, I don't want to say the G word, but are almost G word that you can't lose because it's so cheap. The configuration of this product means that unless I open that case and it's empty, we got fool's gold. And I'll grab a new one for us. Here's Yang. This is a great price on Yang. Once again, it's 10 cases, guys. It's very easy to make your money back. If I'm already saying, fine, I wave the white flag, I'll lose
this is only for
thousands
Miami.
of dollars. That's one thing. Yeah, for Miami here.
Only for Miami here.
If you then say, will you lose a few more $1,000? That's ridiculous. Obsidian before. This is Obsidian, but better. And it's just, you can't really lose. It's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, scale 1 to 10. I'm thinking too much risk.
So which is it? Is it tough or is it the G word to make your money back? If the product is so good and you are almost guaranteed to make your money back, you won't say it, but it'll hint at it. Why wouldn't you just open it yourself and sell the stuff? Huh? If you're pushing the spots that hard that they are such great value and it's an amazing deal, then just open the product and sell the singles. Why not just do that? These are the types of playing the video clips back to back from when he was opening the product and him rating it a 4.5 out of 10. And then the clips of him trying to sell the product are not the best look there, Pac-Man. I don't know Pac-Man at all. I have never met him, never talked to him. I've seen him at a couple big shows like at the National and stuff, walk past him, but have never had any interaction with him. I watch his videos on occasion if there's a product that I want to see opened, and because I just know he'll have a video up of it. Normally when I want to see opening of product, I usually go to Striker or Run Good, depending on the product. But for basketball stuff, I typically go to him. For wrestling, I usually go to Run Good, and for baseball, I usually go to Striker. Rough look, given what you were talking about during the preview video when you opened 4 boxes on your YouTube channel versus what you are talking about on Whatnot. And shout out to the basketball card Reddit thread is where this was posting. I don't know the individual user that put this, East T 4845, for throwing this together from one of his recent Whatnot breaks. Wild stuff over on the wonderful world of Whatnot. Speaking of Whatnot, according to their live selling report, the company drove more than $8 billion, with a B, billion dollars in sales in 2025. Now, keep in mind, cards are a large component of that, but there is a lot of other stuff sold on Whatnot. A lot of clothing, a lot of other collectibles, shoes, Funko Pops, comic books, pretty much anything that you can think of. It is the modern day QVC. And I must say, I am very glad that I grew up in the QVC / home shopping network era and got to experience that and didn't grow up being hooked on whatnot and dealing with the current state of live selling. This is just me personally. I'm an old ass man. I'm in my mid 40s. I don't have time to sit down and watch live selling. If I want to buy something, I am just going to go buy it and I will have it shipped to my house. And that is that. I don't need to be, there is plenty, and I get breaking has an entertainment aspect to it. Live selling has an entertainment aspect to it. And to each their own, whatever you enjoy, you enjoy. There are plenty of things I have better to do with my time than sit down for basically live streams of infomercials day in and day out. That's just me. However you want to do it, more power to you. That, not me. And if I want to open cards, I want to be the one ripping the packs. I don't want someone doing it for me. Like I said, I've said it in previous videos, I don't know how we got on this idea that having someone else open your product for you is the way to go. Let's talk about Comc for a second. Their shipping department is an absolute nightmare right now. I am seeing tons of complaints, really since Christmas, about Comc and their return shipping. I can only speak to my own. The last set of cards I had shipped home was right before Christmas. But generally speaking, I am not shipping many cards. I usually am sending in hundreds of cards and shipping home 3 to 5 cards, which was the case on my last order. So, which were slabs, and I 98% of the time pay up for slightly faster shipping, and I got my stuff back quickly. Now, I should note, I did used to be sponsored by Comc. I no longer am. I have not been since the end of the year, but just throwing that in there in case anyone thinks I have bias one way or the other. There's been lots of rumors around Comc for the last few months in regards to financial troubles. I still think, as of right now, I do not see Comc, quote unquote, going out of business or anything crazy like that. Are they being financially stretched? It sure seems like it based by all the evidence, layoffs, things like that, some things that they've done. Do I think they're completely going under and you're not going to be able to log into your account one day? No. If it ever got to that point and I wouldn't, maybe they're looking to sell, I would expect someone, most likely candidate is eBay, with maybe a little bit of Tops and Fanatics sprinkled in, would come in and buy them. I just think that eBay already has an equity stake in Comc. Remember, they did an investment, I think that was about 2 years ago now, maybe 3. Middle of the pandemic, late pandemic, I don't remember when that happened, but eBay invested a bunch of money into Comc, so I am sure they have some sort of something in a contract somewhere of like right of first refusal if they want to sell. I would have to imagine someone like that swoops in and grabs them if it ever got that bad. Comc is going to be at the upcoming Shipshawana show. I plan on probably taking them a box of cards to drop off. I just sent them stuff in at Christmas time, so I continue to use them. Nothing's really changed in my buying and selling patterns, but I could see how the return shipping thing, if you're not paying up for expedited shipping, could be a big pain in the butt for some folks. So keep that in mind if you are looking to ship cards home. Speaking of delays, I saw a ton of stuff about this the last couple of days between social media posts and then just DMs. PSA / eBay seem to be having a little bit of problem. And I don't know if the problems are on the PSA side or if they are on the eBay side or a combination of the two. But one of the big things is PSA vault payments are not coming through. As in, if you sold cards through the PSA vault on eBay, there is a massive delay in getting paid out. They're saying 5 business days. I have seen reports of 8 to 10 business days. I saw some people saying they finally got their money after 10 days. PSA did acknowledge that there is a delay. It does not seem to be affecting PSA offers, which makes me think that there's something going on in the works between the PSA side and the eBay side. I don't mean that like in a bad way, just that something probably is technically broke on that bridge, because the other thing that happened is some PSA vaulting options were not functioning correctly either. Like if you purchased a card and wanted to ship it directly to the vault, things like that were also not working correctly the last few days. I should note, if you do buy and sell through PSA and you have a Stripe account through them, they are saying this was unrelated, but they did send an email out as well that needed updated information, first name, last name, and I think an uploaded ID for ID verification. I assume that stuff is tax related, though I don't know that for sure. But they are saying that is unrelated to all this. I got the email. I have not gone in and updated mine because I currently don't have anything for sale in the PSA vault. So I am not sweating that. I'll get to it when I get to it. But this has been a major point of contention. A lot of people are not happy about this one, about the delayed payouts, as they are waiting for that money to either probably pay bills or buy more stuff. So keep that in mind. It seems like things are running slow. It does seem like things are getting a little better. But if you've experienced the delay, that is potentially what is going on there. Yes. One Piece. Shocking. A TCG game based on an anime around pirates. The booty got plundered, if you will. For those that aren't aware, some NCAA college basketball teams have been doing a promo. The card is pictured down below. And that promo card, last I checked, was like $500 plus. I haven't looked at it in the last 24 to 48 hours. But you got this free for attending the game. And apparently, Rutgers was robbed. Someone broke into where these were being stored overnight in a locked office and stole. I've seen reports that it was a large quantity of these, because this was for multiple games over the course of a month and a half. So they potentially had a ton of these things, and it sounds like someone made off with them. There's been a lot of drama around this. I saw Collect do some pieces and some other folks do some articles around how once this info kind of got out, ticket prices went crazy. I saw videos of police kicking people out that were trying to basically scalp these. All sorts of crazy drama. When something like this goes crazy, the last year or so it's been Pokemon, now it's One Piece. The fallout from this nonsense always makes me laugh. If you're curious about what's going on in the TCG space, I do sometimes touch on it briefly on this channel, but for those that may not be aware, I do have a second channel. It is Neo TCG, and I cover a lot of TCG topics over there. I don't post daily. It's usually 1 or 2 videos a week, but I have done some One Piece content over there. So if you're looking for some info on that, Pokemon content, MTG, go over and check that channel out. Pirates stealing cards about pirates. What do you know? GameStop in the news this week for a couple of different reasons. One, I'm going to combo these into one. Michael Burry posted this earlier this week of the Big Short fame. Final GameStop, the gig is up. Yeah, basically, he's big on GameStop. My big takeaway here is he's a big fan of 90MU. Anytime I see a sealed box of 90MU, one, I think about Dungeons and Dragons cards. If you know, you know. Two, I love that set. It's one of my all-time favorite sets ever created. To know that he is a big fan of that just made me smile a little bit. And he talks about having a sealed box of it in his collection. I looked when the day this was posted on his Substack. Box prices had not moved. They were still sitting between $500 and $600. I haven't looked since. I should go take a look at that just for my own curiosity. But he is also big on GameStop. And then later this past week, Ryan Cohen came out. There's a bunch of articles around. Basically, they have a bunch of money and they want to buy somebody else. Now, before all the GME bros get their panties in a twist, they do say a publicly traded company. PSA / Collectors Universe is not a publicly traded company. They also specifically talk about something more on the retail side of things. So I don't know what it could potentially be. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. A user or a viewer in my Discord, I do have a Discord, link in the description down below. It is free. No charge Discords here, unlike some folks. Pointed out maybe Wizards of the Coast, or not Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro. And I think Hasbro's too big. I don't think you can afford Hasbro. Way too big. I thought a fun one would be if they could just buy Wizards of the Coast, but I don't know why Hasbro would sell Wizards of the Coast. It makes tons of sense why GameStop would want them because of, the MTG aspect, the TCG aspect, Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of Wizards of the Coast is a very profitable entity of Hasbro. A lot of Hasbro stockholders have wanted them to spin off Wizards of the Coast into its own thing and separate it from the Hasbro brand. And as we have seen in recent allegations and legal filings, that Hasbro basically uses Wizards of the Coast to keep them profitable. Essentially, it's supporting the entire company. So I don't think anything like that would happen. There are other potential hobby companies they could go after. None of them are public. Could they look at something like an alt? Could they look at Comc? If they wanted to get into the grading game, it would be weird since they're so tightly partnered with CGC or with PSA. Could they buy CGC and get the card and grading grading divisions off of them potentially? Who knows? We'll see what happens. For the record, I don't think any of the things that I just listed off are likely, but they are good talking points for social media. Speaking of CGC, we got a little news on them this week. Nice change. I don't know why they had this in place in the first place, but this is nice to see. They eliminated the $5 fee on pack pulled autos to $0, which is nice. Nice change out of them. I don't typically grade a lot of auto cards with them. Most auto cards I personally just like to have in a mag. But nice change. I still want CGC is my go-to for anything PC oriented, and I really like them for vintage MTG. That's my personal preferences with them is PC stuff and vintage Magic the Gathering. Most auto cards I prefer to just put in a mag, at least the stuff that I'm buying, like WWE autos, Marvel autos, things like that. Most sports autos, I probably wouldn't send to them. I'd probably send them to the PSA for pack pulled stuff, but each their own. But nice to see this fee going away. That is a nice, small, positive change for folks in the hobby. Last one. I gotta keep this short. We got to get to the Royal Rumble. Let's look at some charts and graphs real quick. I got one to pull up over in Market Movers. Link in the description down below. Looking at the Super Bowl QBs, we have Drake May, Sam Darnold, 2 Sam Darnold cards, and I did throw in JSN. Because he had an absolutely amazing season as some of the key players from this weekend Super Bowl. I will predict, we are a week out, I will predict the Seahawks. I was actually pretty spot on with my championship picks because I said I think the Broncos, I wouldn't bet on them to win, but I think the Broncos keep that game way closer than most people think it's going to be, and that ended up being the case as they very easily could have won that game. Crazy weather in that game. Fun to watch that one. Drake May. The wild part to me here is the May versus Darnold pricing. That was kind of the thing I wanted to focus on. Drake May in a PSA 10 is $1,800. The pop on that card is $720. Sam Darnold in a PSA 10 is $400. And the pop on that card is $51. Let that sink in for a second. I also threw up the Darnold Optic Hollow. That card's up 370%. And then JSN, PSA 10 Silver, pop 378. Non-quarterback, so they don't get graded as much. At $235, up 256%. The Darnold versus May pricing is absolutely wild. I think it just all comes down to the hype meter of, it is the beginning of May's career, why Darnold has been in the game a little bit longer. So the hype, the shine has worn off, basically. Darnold, I believe, is like 4 or 5 years older than May. So I'm guessing it's just all coming from the hopes, dreams, and the what ifs of May's future career versus Darnold's. But that is an absolutely huge price gap. And like I said, I think Seattle, I don't want to say wins easy because I'm never going to say that against a Vrabel coach team. But I do think Seattle takes this one down. So feel free to fire off with your Super Bowl predictions in the comments down below. Wild week. I have one video pre-recorded already. It was going to drop on Friday, and I ended up pushing it back. It'll probably be out on Tuesday, unless something crazy happens. And it is, once again, kind of talking about the Topps distribution network. I think I'm going to have to recheck it out. I think the video still holds up pretty well in the afterglow of the leaked documents. I don't think there's anything in there. If anything, it kind of reaffirms that video. So I think I'll probably just let that run as is. It was a little bit of a whiteboard video on the screen where, you know, move little boxes around. Interesting little video. We'll see how y'all like it. That should be up on Tuesday, pending chaos in the hobby, which who knows anymore. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.